the recording, and then we play the video. Okay. Ashley?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, assalamu alaikum, and good evening, good night, and good morning to all of you. We are pleased to have people at this meeting from all parts of the world in different time zones. I am Ashley Sinanan, an independent researcher specializing in historical studies. I hold a bachelor's degree in history with a minor in literature from the University of the West Indies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 295th edition of our ICC Thought Leaders Forum. We wish to sincerely thank all of you who have contributed in whatever way to the success of this ongoing Pan-Indo-Caribbean and Pan-Indian Diaspora Global Gravitia project. For 294 unbroken continuous weeks, we have been here every single Sunday. In the past 5 years, 8 months, and 3 weeks, we have featured 1,184 presenters from all parts of the world speaking on 294 topics. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a weekly forum hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center, a legally registered research and publishing company operating since 2010. In order to continue this weekly program and to make it better and bigger, we are asking for suggestions and volunteers. If you give a donation, your name will be placed on our poster and all promotional materials. Please contact Dr. Mahabir for details. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our moderator today, who is Shalima Mohammed, the co-director of the ICC Zoom platform, who is a business teacher and researcher from Trinidad and Tobago. She obtained her master's degree in business psychology from Franklin University in the USA.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Namaste, and a warm welcome to all of you. I want to say thank you very much for choosing to be here with us. This program, as usual, is being recorded on Zoom and live streamed on the YouTube channel of the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. So to all of you on YouTube at this time, welcome. To avoid intrusions from trolls, our IT manager has muted everyone in the Zoom room. So speakers, please do not admit anyone, do not unmute anyone, and do not allow anyone to share your screen. We appreciate your cooperation. Today, we are talking about yoga and meditation, and we are focusing on their impact on health and wellness. In diaspora contexts, yoga and meditation can serve as accessible pathways to personal well-being and self-exploration, sometimes intersecting with cultural heritage, but not limited to it. Indian heritage does not confer automatic spiritual insight, nor does it impose an obligation to practice yoga or meditation. Historically, these two practices were never universal across all communities in India. Access was shaped by class, caste, gender, and geography. Romanticizing yoga and meditation as ancestral practices for all Indians risks overlooking these exclusions. Unlike language or ritual, yoga and meditation are flexible. individual practices that can be approached gradually and do not require religious affiliation. When engaged with thoughtfully, they can support physical health, mental clarity, emotional regulation, and stress reduction. In this discussion, we focus on how yoga and meditation contribute to holistic health and wellness, while acknowledging their complex social histories and importance to us in the Indian diaspora. So it's my pleasure to welcome our first speaker today, and that is Narendra Prasad of Canada. He's originally from Guyana. He's a registered yoga teacher and philanthropist committed to promoting wellness, equity, and community service, drawing inspiration from his own past health challenges. He's accompanied by Kapil Bist, who is the lead instructor of East Meets West Yoga Academy. He will introduce a 5-minute video on pranayama by one of the teachers, Gokul Bist. And then the video will be followed by a short demonstration and 2 pranayama exercises, which we hope everyone will join in. So let me turn you over now to Narendra. Welcome.
Thank you, Shalima, and namaste to everyone. This is a very timely event because Kapil and I just actually came back from Bodh Gaya. That's in India. So we were there. This is where the Buddha gained enlightenment. So we were there today, and we just arrived back. It's 12:45 a.m. right now. And so we just arrived back. We had a long journey. And so I said it's coincidental because, this is what we're talking about. We didn't plan this. We were out there and then to go to Bodh Gaya to visit the temple there where the Buddha sat under the tree. And this is where he gained enlightenment. And he meditated. And when we think of, when in the modern time, when we think of yoga, we think of all of the poses, the physical aspect of yoga. But initially, the ancient yogis actually did not do all of those physical exercises. They actually sat and they meditated and they did the pranayama. So today, what we will talk about is the prana. Prana means the life force, and we use prana to help us to get to meditation. So there are several, and Kapil will go through. Kapil is right beside me here, and Kapil lives here. I'm at Kapil's place in Rishikesh, the yoga capital of the world. And so I'm here with him. And the other presenter, well, he's not, it wouldn't be live, it will be YouTube. And that's Gokul Bisht, and he's one of our yoga teachers as well. And he focuses on yoga anatomy and philosophy, and as well as physiology. So we will show a short demonstration on prana, what prana means and how it affects all of us. So when we think of yoga in the modern time, we're thinking of yoga as physical exercises and all of the advanced poses and the very Western way of thinking of yoga. But when we go deeper into yoga, it's really the meditation that matters. And then why do we want to keep healthy? Why do we want to be, why do we keep our bodies healthy? For what? To enjoy ourselves until we live, until we die, or to get to a place where we can actually go further into karma yoga. So once we can take care of ourselves, then we can help to take care of others as well. So our focus has now moved on to a lot of karma yoga. So I'm here right now because Kapil is the principal and the project manager of a school for underprivileged children, where we have 450 kids go to that school, and it's to help to keep them off of the streets. Because once they either don't go to school or they go to school and after school they're on the streets. So the school helps to bring them off of the street and give them after school programs. So that's how where we are headed to is the Karma Yoga. So we do the physical exercises to help us to be fit, to be well, and then we use the pranayama to help us to get to the meditative state. And once we get there and we are good and we are well and we are healthy, then we are able to take that forward to help others. So what we are going to do right now is we will show a little a 4.5 minute video of prana and how it affects us, what it means, what prana means, and what pranayama means. Prana is the life force. We call it the breath, and pranayama is the breath restraint or breath exercises. And there's Kapil will explain a little more about that, and he will demonstrate after the video. So if I can ask for us to take us to the video now with Gokul Bisht. Gokul may I take a minute just to introduce him? He is one of our teachers. He is a professor in IT, right? Yeah. In information technology in one of the colleges here in Rishikesh, but he teaches yoga and he's got a master's in yoga science, as well as Kapil, who has a master's in yoga science. So we will hear Gokul's voice in the video. So if we can
Before discussing how to control prana
go
and
to
what
the video
happens
now.
when we control prana, we have to understand what is prana. When people discuss about prana, sometimes they get confused and scratch their head. I'm trying to explain the prana in a simple way. The word prana meaning is vital force or life energy. The prana is ever present in every aspect of creation. Prana is everywhere, it is within our body and in the environment. The prana within every created object gives existence and material form, whether it is a planet, grass, or a tree. If there is no prana, there is no existence. The tangible strength that enables the movement of one's hands is prana. The wind blows and rivers flow because of the prana. Aircrafts, trains, and cars move because of prana. Laser beams and radio waves travel because of prana. The force responsible for our thoughts is nothing but prana. All beings are composites of prana, which gives them life and existence. The quantum of prana in every individual is different. Some persons are more successful, commanding, and fascinating than others due to the level of their prana. Prana is the sum of all latent forces and powers which are hidden in man and which lie everywhere around us. Heat, light, electricity are just the manifestations of prana. All physical and mental forces also come under the prana. Sometimes many people call the breath as life energy, but breath is external manifestation of prana. Breath is sthula in Hindi, that means gross. Prana is shukshma, that means subtle. So if we control the breath, we can control the prana. And in turn, we can control the mind. Mind cannot operate without the help of prana. The vibrations of prana only produce thoughts of mind. It is the prana that moves the mind. It is the prana that sets the mind in motion. So if we control the external breath, we can easily control the inner vital force, that is prana. The process by which the prana is controlled is termed as pranayama. By controlling the act of breathing in pranayama, we can efficiently control all various motions in the body and the different nerve currents that are running through the body. So friends, if your mind diverts here and there and if your thoughts disturb you, practice pranayama. By the practice of pranayamas, your concentration and memory would increase. You would be more focused towards your goals. You would experience relaxed and calm mind. Impurities would be removed from your body and you would achieve good health, peace and harmony. So it is clear that prana is responsible for every kind of actions within our body or in the universe. By controlling the prana through the act of pranayama, we would get control over the body and the mind. We can direct the prana and we can experience the spiritual awakening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and comment on the video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
So thank you for watching the video, and now Kapil will take us to the
Okay,
next.
so namaste, and thank you for inviting us for this meeting today. And so after the brief introduction on the pranayam, so I will invite you, all of you, just to join to practice the two of the main pranayamas among. There are a few different ones. Mainly the 8 pranayamas are explained according to the Hatha Yoga, the foundation of the yoga. And as you have just heard about the definition of pranayam, that's prana plus ayam. That's the word pranayam is derived from the 2 words prana plus ayam. Prana means the vital energy and ayama means the expansion. So the definition of the pranayam is the expansion of the dimension of that prana is called pranayam. And it is a very important part in your yogic practice. Without pranayama, your yogic practice is not complete. It's the most important for the clarity of the mind, for balancing your nervous system, for reducing your stress level, especially in the modern time. People are really suffering mentally, physically, emotionally. So pranayama is the best practice to reduce the stress, for the stress management. Okay, so please take a very comfortable seat. I hope you'll enjoy these 2 demonstrations I'm going to do. The name of the pranayam is Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. So Nadi are the energy channels. Every word, in yoga, we have the terms in Sanskrit, the original text. So the nadis is a Sanskrit word and it means the energy channel, the flow of energy as well. And Shodhana means purification. This is the one of the main pranayam among all the pranayam. In English, we call it alternate nostril breathing. So please just take a comfortable meditative pose and keep the spine straight. Just relax the shoulders. I'm just going to show this how we do this pranayam. So you keep your right hand in this pose. It's called no stick position. Your index finger and middle finger touching the eyebrow center. And you close your right nostril with the right thumb and take a deep inhale through the left nostril. When you inhale, you just keep your eyes closed and start to inhale slowly and deeply through the left nostril. Then after inhalation complete, you close the left nostril with the right ring finger, release the right thumb and exhale out through the right nostril. Then you inhale through the right nostril, keeping the left one closed. Then you close the right nostril with the right thumb and exhale out through the left nostril. So this is 1 round of this alternate nostril breathing. So this is just a demonstration. So by the regular practice of this pranayam, one can really experience the greater level of the meditation. This is a pre-meditative pranayam. There are lots of benefits of doing this pranayam for the healthier body, mind, and soul. Okay. So the second pranayam we are going to do is called Brahmari. So Brahmari means the bee, like the honey bee. Okay. So it's known as the humming bee breath. So for the Brahmari, once again, you just have to sit very comfortably, and very important to keep the spine straight. And then Just your index finger you plug into the ear. So before that, you might hear the instructions. So what you do, you inhale deeply and then you exhale slowly in a controlled way with the humming sound, like the honeybee sound. Okay, so if you exhale in a slow and controlled way, you can have a long melodious humming bee sound. And this pranayama is very good for your voice as well. Makes your voice very sweet and calming down your mind and quietens the brain. Very good for your meditation practice. Okay, so let's practice just 2 rounds of this. Keep your index finger, close your ears with the index finger, then inhale deeply. So every day you can practice this for like 10 rounds. Okay, and the Nadi Shodhan alternate nostril breathings. There are many more other pranayamas with the different variations for the higher experience of the spiritual energy and for mental clarity and lots of benefits. But so for now, I'm just going to stop here and thank you very much. Thank you.
And before we close off, so how did Kapil and I get to yoga? For me, uh, I think, according to my bio, you saw I'm actually an accountant by profession, or was. I'm now retired, and so about 25 years ago, I developed a neck problem, and I went to everywhere to help to resolve that problem, to the physio, to the doctor, to massage therapist. Nothing worked. I would get temporary relief, and then the next day it's back to the same thing. So I started doing the yoga practice, and that's 25 years ago, and the rest of it is history. I never stopped. I decided to go and do the teachers training. So many people, and I taught at one of the largest yoga studio gyms in Canada, and many students come to yoga when they get have a problem, when they get sick. So it's always a reactive thing rather than proactive. Um, so I found in my classes, this is the time of the year, the beginning, January, when everyone comes out to the gym because they're all, gung ho and they're all ready to their New Year's resolution. And then by the end of February, the class is down to about half. And also many people come because they have some form of illness. So we do not push anyone. They will know when they're ready for yoga, but hopefully it's not when you're ill. It's when you're well, then you come to maintain that lifestyle. And so that's it in a nutshell for me. And also I should also mention I was born with a congenital heart disease. Had open heart surgery in Toronto, in Canada, as a teenager. So I think of myself as going the other way than a normal person. I came into the world with issues, and then I had to work the other way around. And actually today I celebrated over 6 decades being in the planet here. So today, actually, that's the other milestone. Is that the other special thing about today is we went to the Bodh Gaya, and I celebrated a special day today as well. And Kapil has had similar. Thanks, Anne. We have some of our students on today, so I just saw Anne's. So Kapil had a similar experience, and that's how he came to Rishikesh. So I'll let him tell you in brief about
Oh,
his
yes.
illness.
If there is some time, yeah, I will be very happy to share this experience, how I came to this yoga world. I never wanted, actually, I'm from the mountains, another part of the North India, not in Rishikesh. So I came to Rishikesh when I was in 2002, and at that time I used to have lots of stress and some kind of depression because of the many problems in life and physically weakness, especially with my bones and the joints. All the joints of the body have. I used to have a body ache all the time, neck, lower back, my knees, and elbows and shoulder joints. So I heard of yoga that time, and yoga has not been popular as it is now. That time, and there was used to be a few just really traditional ashrams, we call the yoga schools in Rishikesh. So I joined one of those ashram in Rishikesh that's very famous. I think you know it, Sivananda Yoga Ashram, Sivananda Ashram in Rishikesh, for the just morning classes, because I was taking lots of Western medicines and allopathic medicines for my this physical problem as well as the mental stress. But the medicine seems not really helping because it's not just for the time being. When I was in medication, it was helping, and then there were lots of side effects on my digestion and everything. So I just heard of yoga, and it's thought to start this journey with regular just open classes, drop-in classes in the ashram, and then continued for 6 months. So it takes time. Then after the 6 month, I felt some improvement in my physical and mental well-being. So then I decided to continue this, but still I never thought to be a yoga teacher. I was doing some different work that time. But then after that, I continued it, and I went to the university. I did my master's in yogic science, and then I got opportunity to teach also some of the very famous ashrams in Rishikesh, and currently I'm doing. And then we started. I met Sir Narendra ji, and then we started our Estimates West Yoga, and now we have that classes also going on online through the Estimates West Yoga. So this is how it's my own experience how yoga has changed my life, and it really, really changed from my darkness to the light of the. So this is I'm just sharing. So we all encourage you to continue this for your good health, good health and well-being. So this is.
I want to
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much.
Quite-
Kapil did not mention that he was just a young 17-year-old when he was experiencing all of this. So,
Yes, I was 17 when I had all this, and even doctor told me I have arthritis problem. So I had medicine for a few years for that. But later on, once since I continued after I started the yoga, and like I said, after 6 months, then I felt different at a physical and mental level and continued. So now I don't need any medicines. I'm very happy. So it's that depression that I was
fantastic.
feeling, really like I feel now the most happiest person in the world.
Mhm.
okay.
Terrific.
So
Thank
thank
you
you
both.
again for
Thank you very much for listening, and
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your fascinating stories as well as for introducing us to two practices, which I think we can go ahead and we can put into practice on our own now. So anybody who looks at the video of this program will be able to see what you've taught, and we really appreciate that. Having heard the benefits to you directly of yoga, I'm more regretful now that we have the program going on at the same time when we used to be practicing yoga here, because we used to take yoga classes as well, but unfortunately it coincided with the time for this program. So something has to change because I'm very encouraged to start back. I want to thank
well,
you both.
you can always start online as well because we offer the online classes and we are there. It's just we don't really charge, but we people donate just for the kids that we are supporting. But there's not really. I mean, if they can't afford, then they let us know. But
So please put in the chat the link or how we can get through to you all online. We have people, as you
yes,
know, from different countries, and I'm sure many of them would like to take advantage of that opportunity. It's really very, very helpful.
and Kapil teaches the pranayama for the classes as well, so he guides that. So
Wonderful. Thank you. So may
yeah,
I ask, first of all,
thank you.
happy birthday to you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Had we
Thank
known,
you.
we would have had an appropriate Trini birthday song for you.
Oh,
But
yes,
happy
yes,
birthday
okay.
nonetheless. And may I
All
ask,
right,
will you
thank
be
you.
with us for the next 2 hours? Or do you need to leave?
Yes.
I know it's been a long day.
Well, it's
1 a.m.
now 1:05 a.m.
Yeah.
And we were traveling all day, so we'll see
Mm.
how far we can go.
Okay, all right.
I'll stay on. Yes, I will stay on.
Okay.
Kapil is teaching at 5 a.m. in the morning as well, so
Okay,
Yeah.
he has to go
so
to the ashram to teach. But I may stay on. Yeah.
all right, but in light of that, and just to give our audience an opportunity to interact with you all, we will take just 2 questions from members of the audience. If you all want to raise your electronic hand, I see one person with her hand up already. So for anybody else who would want to ask, please go ahead and do so. We'll just take 2 questions.
In
Kumu, go
Canada,
ahead,
music.
please. Unmute your mic.
One second.
We're hearing
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Mhm.
So am I correct in assuming that Kapilji is in Rishikesh right now? That's the first question. And the second question is the exercise where you put your finger on your ears. How long are you supposed to hold it there?
Actually, yes, I'm in Rishikesh. I live in Rishikesh, and the second pranayama that it's holding like 5 rounds. You can start with. So you have to keep all the time your fingers closing the ear while you are doing this pranayam. For example, we are doing 5 rounds. Then every round you inhale, but keep all the time fingers closing your ears. Then you inhale and exhale with the humming sound.
Okay.
Like this 1 round. Then again you inhale. Like the second round. So like this you do 5 rounds.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
You said that you all East meets West Academy in Rishikesh, correct?
Yes.
You have 450 students who receive after school teaching
Oh
in
no, that's a
yoga.
different. That's another organization.
That's where he works.
That's
Actually, we support. We East meets West
support.
children. We support them. We make donations to the school. And Kapil is the principal and
Oh, I see.
that's his full time job where he works, and then he teaches yoga as well.
Right. So may I ask,
And we have to support that school.
wonderful.
Yes.
So may I ask, how does yoga affect their cognitive abilities? Have you seen changes? Do the
Cognitive.
students, yeah, so their capacity to learn, their ability to assimilate information differently. Have you seen anything like that having practiced the yoga?
Yes, it really helps to be more focused for their better concentration. That helps in the memory. Like regular practice of pranayama helps to remember. It's good for memory. It activates like our brain centers. Like this pranayama we're just doing, Nadi Shodhan. When you inhale, it activates your right side, the brain, right brain hemisphere. So inhaling through left nostril activates the right side. So very good for balancing and cleansing, purification of the negative thoughts. Okay, and balancing your mind, so that also gives the better concentration and good for the memory for remembering.
So
And
you are
that we
seeing,
see,
Kapil, you're seeing the changes in the students?
yes, we see the changes physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah, we see the changes in the
Okay.
students.
Terrific. So Krishna is asking, of course, he thanks you very much, and he's asking, where are you located in Canada, Naren?
Well, I actually live in Pickering, but since the pandemic, I have not been teaching at physical locations. We do all of our classes online. I used to teach at one of the big gyms in Canada for 10 years, and the pandemic came, shut everything down, and then Kapil and I actually started so it's been 6 years that we started the East Meets West Yoga
Online.
online.
So we are still
Terrific.
doing the online classes.
And we do
Wonderful.
we are doing teachers training as well. So we are registered with the Yoga Alliance of USA, and we do teachers training.
So can we have that information placed in the chat, please?
Yes,
So
sure,
anyone who
yes,
would like to join in can do so.
yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
I want to thank you
Yes.
both very much, as well
Thank
as
you.
Gokul. Thank you so much. You've really enriched
Thank you.
our understanding today, and hopefully our health as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Our first speaker is very interesting presentation, and I think our second speaker will do similarly. This is Nirmala Ragbir Day of England. She's originally from right here in Trinidad. She's a volunteer with the Janki Foundation for Spirituality and Healthcare in the UK and project coordinator for the foundation's Global Values in Healthcare, a Spiritual Approach. Welcome, Nirmala.
Hi, good evening. It's night here, so I'll say good day to everyone. So thank you for having me, and it's my first association with the ICC. So I am looking forward to the remaining of this session to see what you all are about. But so the topic for today is really yoga and meditation. So I must say that I have experience in both, but not experts, if you say. So, like our previous speakers, and owning the breath and going into what the breath really is. For me, it's just by experience. So, I have attempted yoga in the physical sense, but also have been practicing meditation. And the type of meditation I do is Raja Yoga. So I'm going to talk from my experience, but I'm also going to share with you some of the information that I use when I actually share with people to help them to cope with their health and well-being. So just to mention, I also work in a mental health trust in the UK, and I've been doing spiritual training and development, helping staff to cope with their frustration, burnout, anxiety, depression, whatever you name it, happens in a mental health hospital. And this project that I mentioned, that you mentioned, the values in healthcare, is something which I've actually been putting into practice, and I'm still doing that. So as I said, I'm going to share from my experience. But just coming back to these two words, yoga and meditation, and for me, the word yoga on a physical level, and especially in the West, is related to the body and, the movement, understanding the breath. And meditation is really about, using the mind and quieting the mind, calming the mind, helping you to reduce stress, improve your well-being, that sort of thing. But the yoga can also, the word yoga means union or connection. So I mentioned that I do Raja Yoga, so really understanding what the mind is and having the tools and the capability to actually quiet the mind. And when you do so, you're able to really go in that inner journey to really experience your own beautiful qualities that you have. And for me, that is what meditation is about. The first bit is knowing who I am. And I'm sure most of you have asked yourself this question, who am I? And then connection with the divine. And the divine can be coming from all different faiths or of no faith. People do have a connection. And for me, meditation is really understanding first who I am and then having that connection. But I just want to bring it all in context before I share a few slides that I've prepared for you all. The aspect of this talk is the impact on health and wellness. And for me, health and wellness encompass so many different aspects of our being. So it looks at the physical, the mental, the social. Health often can be seen as just the absence of disease, but wellness could be, making that balanced choice. And I like to use the word wellness, with well-being, because for me is the two words well and being, well-being, talks about the inner being. And that's where my focus is in terms of the meditation that I practice. So we all know that, am I okay to share my screen? Is that okay?
Yes, certainly.
Yeah, okay. So I'll
Yes,
just
go
bear
ahead.
with me. Yeah, I'll do that now. Here we are. So the first slide is really a simple one. And most times we talk about, I have a soul. Yeah. And for me, it's bringing both together. Body and soul works together. And the previous speaker mentioned about the pranayam, the life force, the being. For me, to make it simple, and I like to make things very simple, for me, that is called the soul. Whether you call it the Atma, the life force, the spirit, for me, it's all the same thing. And I read something once where it says, you are not a human, you are a spiritual being having a human existence. So for me, it's like I flip the coin, because we are told that, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? You see the body. The soul is non-physical, so it can't be seen with the physical eyes, but it can be experienced. So for me, in my meditation journey, is really to understand who I am. And for me, where I am at this moment is I know that I am a point of conscient energy. I am eternal. I am a perfect soul in terms of I have my core qualities of peace and love and goodness. But I have forgotten it. And the analogy I like to use here, and if you look at the image here, is that of the diamond, where the diamond can be covered in dust, and the dust can be of everyday living. And when I've forgotten who I am, and I think that I am, my roles, I think that I'm my profession, I think that I am, all the things that we have acquired. Yes, we are where we are this moment as a result of all those things, but who is the one who is the actor playing the part? And I like to detach myself and think of myself as I'm the one who is playing the part. Whether that part is a researcher, whether that part is, a wife, a sister, a cousin, a friend, who is the one playing the part? So in my journey, I know that I am that soul. I am the one who is eternal. I'm the one who plays the part. And I thought it would be nice to just explain here what the soul is made up of, from my understanding. And for me, it's three faculties. I have a mind, I have an intellect, and I have my personality traits, or what we call, the Hindu word is sanskars. Yeah. So the mind is the faculty that creates thoughts. And the previous speaker shared quite a lot about the mind, and the benefits of doing all these things is really to quiet the mind. The intellect really makes judgment, decides. So based on my values, my inner core qualities that I may have grown up with, the educational system, the cultural background, all these things adhere to the decisions that I make. But each soul, irrespective of gender, culture, race, creed, we have all the same spiritual DNA. Physically, our DNA differs, but spiritually, we are all, I like to call, children of God, or of the one source. And that is of goodness, of peace, of love, of purity, of bliss, and of strength and wisdom. These are my core qualities. The mind creates thoughts. And so to get to that, to be able to get to the source of the diamond, to go through and clean the diamond, I need to understand the importance of quieting the mind. So I want to take you through just a basic little exercise that I use, and it's just 2-3 minutes, where I would like you, as you sit, just uncross your limbs or gently rest your hands on your lap. And if you're sitting in the lotus position, that's fine, because that's, a nice way for your energy also to keep circulating. And I just want you to bring your awareness to the breath. So just the breath in your natural rhythm of breathing. Just follow the breath in and out, just for a moment. The moment I bring my awareness to the breath, everything starts slowing down, because I'm mindful, I'm present, I am there with the breath, there's nothing else. And as Rumi says, when you own your breath, no one can take your peace away. So in the meditation that I practice, I first of all quiet the body, I relax the body, I bring my awareness to the breathing, and then I just watch the thoughts in my mind, where it's going, past and future. That's where they go all the time. Yeah. And I looked at all the unnecessary thoughts, things like waste thoughts, things I'm worrying about the future, or I'm thinking of something someone said in the past. And it's like these two heavy bags, past and future, and I just put them down. And the moment I do that, I can focus on the breath again, but also on one thought, because the mind, you need to give it something, because it will jump back to one thing or the other, and it keeps jumping from one thing to the other. So a simple one that I use is I am peace. So if you want to just bear with, go with me on this. So I'd like you to, again, bring your awareness to the breath. Emptying the mind of all unnecessary thoughts. So forget what questions you have to ask, or if you have your next presentation, just be with the breath right here, right now. And I want you to take this affirmation, I am peace, and just hold on to it. You could use it, you can have your eyes open or closed. I practice eye open meditation. And as you hold on to that affirmation, I am peace, take yourself to a place you associate with peace. Knowing that your peace is one thing, but experiencing peace is where the effort comes. So when I breathe in peace and calm. When you breathe out, visualize you're breathing out that peace and calm. And this is how we quiet the mind. And it requires a lot of practice. So I want to look at the benefits and why we do all of this, because we have to interact with the outer world, don't we? We all may have jobs, we interact, we may be doing some voluntary work, etc. And this is from a publication, a resource of the Janki Foundation called The Heart of Wellbeing. And it just focuses on 4 aspects: the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. And it looks at all of this because it focuses that when I am at the center, and if you look at, they all interact, the physical and the mental and emotional in this diagram. But the I, this is where I sit. So when we say we go into our inner qualities, we go into our inner journey, this is where I'm coming. So that my journey is an inside out approach. And then I can interact with relationships, the environment, my community. So what do we mean by physical well-being or physical wellness? Just anything to do with the body, so diet, nutrition, exercise, coordination. When we look at mental, we're looking at everything to do with the way in which we use our mind to make sense of what is happening around us. So my concentration, my memory, my thinking patterns, my capacity to solve problems, make decisions, set goals, all of these things are mental. Emotional really looks at the very human capacity to feel, whether this is happiness, joy, contentment, or it can be sadness, it could be guilt or anger. So some of the factors we consider is self-control, self-awareness. So this is why when you bring your awareness to the breath and you narrow, where am I, how am I feeling? Am I still holding on to regret, anger, this sort of things? So self-awareness, as I mentioned, motivation, self-confidence, empathy, handling relationship, all of this falls under the emotional. And spiritual, as I said here, is really our ability to feel connected and through this to really find meaning in our lives. So here's where our value system is based. Yeah. If I connected with my inner selves by coming to understand my beliefs, my values, that helps to guide me, but also connection with that higher entity or something bigger. So whether we call it the divine, God, the universe, nature, whatever works for you. Yeah. So the project that I'm involved with, and this is something which I have been doing for more than 2 decades, is really helping people to reconnect with their inner values and to care, share, and inspire those values. So it's based on the 7 modules and things like helping people to reconnect to their own self-leadership, discovering and renewing your inner values, taking time out to refresh and de-stress, enhancing positive interactions, looking at unlocking the key to compassion and really understanding and creating that self-compassion for the self. Appreciating your contribution, so looking at the whole aspect of cooperation and team building here. Valuing yourself, exploring self-care and self-esteem. So how important it is to take care of yourself first. So I've been working in the National Health Service in the UK. And of course, I understand what burnout is. I understand how important it is to get people to really take time out. So I do lunchtime meditation for staff. I've been running these programs, helping people to get them to use some of these tools, which I'll talk to you about. But the other aspect here is developing that resilience, which is really the key to self-management. So these icons here really represents the 7 spiritual tools that we use in the program. And one is meditation. So it's not any particular meditation, but it's really getting people to understand the mind and quieting the mind and really connecting to their inner values. We use other tools like appreciation, so giving thanks or creating that feeling of gratitude, creativity, so learning to express themselves through different forms of creativity, reflection, making time to meet ourselves, visualization, so using picturing good health and taking yourself into space. I do a lovely little visualization on creating your sacred space. And this is what, you can revisit again and again. And listening is also another tool that we use. And we all have forgotten how to listen, because most times when we listen, we have our own agenda. So when we compassionately listen, we are able to be present and come from a space of love and peace. So these are some of the tools that we share. So one of the exercises that I take people through is really to experience your inner values. And here it's all about, getting you to identify what values matters to you at this moment. So if I can ask you to just take a moment and reflect and just think of one value that you feel matters to you at this time. And a value is, as I mentioned, it's a belief, it's something which you hold on to. So it could be something like peace or joy or love or honesty or self-respect, whatever comes to you. And as you come to that value, you can then take a moment again, following the same process, the breath, quieting the mind, and then going into experiencing that inner value. Just as how we did with the peace, taking yourself to a place you associate with peace, you can then explore. And once you're able to go into that exploration of that inner value, you're able to then, grow it, because it could be the seed. So out of peace, for example, comes so many other virtues. When I actually am being peaceful, that seed of peace results in so many different virtues. So like serenity, like being calm, so many. If you look at love as a core value, caring, appreciation, respect, all of these are the virtues that comes out of these values. So it's a very creative way, using visualization, quieting the mind, being creative in your meditation so that you're able to experience something that works for you, because we're all so unique and we're all different. Yeah. So I use quite a lot of affirmation, and this is one that I found out on the internet, and it resonated with me, and I thought, I could share this with you. And it's all about I am, what I am. And this is again coming back to that first question that I asked, who am I? So just, these 5 lines can be a meditation that you can go into each of those in detail. So, I am a point of conscient energy, as I mentioned. This is my understanding. A soul of love, a heart of peace, a mind of stillness, a being of light. And each you can experience, you can go into the detail of each of these. So again, coming back to peace, love, and happiness, these are the things that we all want. We just had Christmas, and with Christmas is all about, experiencing these things, but it's become so commercialized, and we have to go back to basics. And for me, basics is keeping peace in the mind, love in the heart, happiness in my relationship. No matter what situation is, let that go. But never let go of your happiness. But the letting go is the tricky part, because unless I'm able to calm my mind, unless I'm able to make my mind my friend and treat it with gentleness, with kindness, I wouldn't be able to let go things. I may think that I've let it go, but it will keep coming up because it's in the subconscious. So just to end, I want to leave you with a quote by Rumi, which I really resonate with. And that quote is, you have no need to travel anywhere. Journey within yourself. Enter a mine of rubies and bathe in the splendor of your own light. So let's just take a moment to just see if we can go there within our inner self, that inner space of stillness and peace. And as I take my next breath in, I resonate with that peace that I am, my state of natural being. And when I'm here, I can bathe in the splendor of my own light. Thank you. I'll stop sharing now. So I hope that was within the time. I was told 15 minutes, so my apologies if I went on a little bit.
Nirmala, you went over significantly, but I did not have the heart to stop you, I have to admit. I was so engrossed in what you were saying and in everything, the peace that was spreading over me. I really absolutely appreciate what you shared. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would love to take questions for you now if members of the audience have it. However, given the time that we are working with, and I have three speakers who we would love to hear from as well. If you don't mind, can I introduce our third? I really, really appreciate your presentation. This was wonderful. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had two wonderful presentations so far, very moving. And our third speaker is now to follow. Let me introduce you to Deborah Bennett of the USA. And Deborah was originally from South Africa. She's the founder of the Heal Me Yoga Studio in the USA with a growing student base. And the Heal Me Yoga Institute is one where she has trained over 100 yoga teachers since 2013. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you very much. I feel very honored to be here with everyone today. Yoga has become such a passion for me too, and it's so lovely to hear other people with the same passion. I've not always been so connected to my health and my peace. In the beginning, my journey was as a ballet dancer. So from 5 years old, I was learning about my physical body, and that's all I had was this connection with my physical body. But my physical body soon became very injured, forcing it to do things and making it do things. And then a friend of mine introduced me to yoga, and I was like, wow, I really need to treat my physical body more healthy, more lovingly and more kindly. So health for me became not exercise, but it became treating myself with loving kindness. So I'm very grateful to be able to share some of the journey that I've been taking in my life. And if you don't mind, I'll go ahead to my presentation.
Yes, it's coming up now.
So I see yoga as the most powerful medicine here on earth. And I feel very moved that our creator, the source that knows everything, that created everything, gave us this medicine for us to stay healthy and stay connected. We as human beings have decided we can do better. But I don't think it's always the case. I think this is the primary medicine. So once again, my name is Deborah Testa Bennett. I have a yoga studio here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I called it Heal Me Yoga because I saw the incredible benefits from doing this yoga and how many people we've had that have healed from heart conditions, like high blood pressure. And I mean, seriously, just gotten better has been amazing just by practicing, as we understood Raja Yoga, the 8 limbs of classical yoga. So it's not the exercise type yoga that we teach here. I was trained by Satchidananda, Shivananda's student, and I feel so grateful that I've learned all this. So one day I was just minding my own business, and a voice came to me and said, Debbie, you need to start training yoga teachers. And I said, no, I don't. I'm fine. I'll just be a student. But I acknowledged the voice. I started the institute, and now we've trained quite a few teachers, and they're all spreading this beautiful news of yoga, the medicine of yoga. So I was born in South Africa. I moved here when I was 25 years old to America to pursue a professional career in dancing, and healed my chronic back pain. I had really, my career was going to be shortened by this terrible pain I was having in my back from, just too vigorous a training in the ballet technique. And it went away. And the only reason I can think about it is that I treated my back more kindly. I didn't stop doing the exercises that I was doing. I still did really difficult ballet exercises for getting myself into a good shape, but I did it more lovingly and kindly. And my body didn't react the same way as it used to, and it never hurt anymore. So that's why I say understanding yoga as a holistic practice, body, mind, and spirit. When I started integrating how I'm treating myself, my emotional treatment of myself, and my connection with my spirit, my peace, and operating from that level, and even doing my ballet conditioning classes with this in mind, things were different for me. So I think that's what makes yoga very special. It's because it's integrated, it's holistic. It's the body, mind, and spirit together, not just one or the other. And I think that's where the Western sciences, medical sciences, go wrong, because they take one thing and study it, and it's got a lot to do with other things as well. The emotions have a lot to do with why the heart's not working properly. The disconnect from spirit has a lot to do with why the mind is so full of anxiety. So I've had very beautiful students here that have become my teachers and teaching me so much. I have understood that a lot of people, when they connect with their peace, their anxiety goes away. When they connect with their spirit, and they've had this anxiety for so long, and all they did was connect with their peace, and that was missing. So this powerful medicine of classical yoga is interconnected health. I'm going to say one of the most powerful medicines that we have here on earth is what created this entire creation, love. And when we're connected with love, we care about ourselves more. We treat ourselves better. We can't eat unhealthy because we know that is destroying us, and we love ourselves more. So it is a medicine. So that which created this entire creation gave us the medicine for us to be in perfect health. And love is one, and it's called ahimsa, non-harming, loving ourselves so that we can love other people. Extremely powerful medicine. Honesty. Honesty takes us completely out of anxiety. When I get honest with myself, I have to realize at the core of my being, there is this beautiful calm. Call it whatever you like. I have a couple of atheists in my studio here, and they don't like me to use the word God. So I said, don't call it God, then just call it peace. I go, okay, that works for me. Same thing. So it's the same thing, but as soon as they got that connection, their anxiety left them. So that honesty helps to bring us to the truth. Gratitude is an incredibly powerful medicine. This is the medicine of yoga. If we just stop for a moment, just close your eyes or just take a moment to feel all the things that you feel grateful for right now, what you feel gratitude for, you feel thankful for. Just list them to yourself. I'm grateful to be on this program, sharing with you this with you today. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for people who are interested. Just notice when we become grateful, how the whole being, all your prana in your being shifts into a much more calmer place. And that's why gratitude is a medicine. It's pretty powerful too. So we can experience that whenever we're grateful for things. What about joy? When we're enjoying life, instead of stressing about life, we're enjoying life. That is a medicine. So the medicines of classical yoga are these things, simple as this. And this understanding, compassion, and forgiveness rather than what people have been taught will make things better is anger, hatred, and violence. That never cured anything. That is going to actually make everyone sick. So if we want to become well, we have to take on the medicine of understanding, compassion, and forgiveness. If you even think of those things, if you're doing something that is not right, instead of getting angry with you or hating you or wanting to hurt you, what if I understand that you must be suffering? I have compassion for you. I forgive you instead of going the other way around. These are very, very powerful medicines. So there are 8 limbs of classical yoga. That's what Raja Yoga means, 8 limbs. The first limb is yama. Yama means ethical living. Now, when you study to be a yoga teacher in my academy, the first thing I ask you to do is commit to living loving, kind life, living a loving and kind life. That in itself is going to be a game changer. When you're loving and kind to yourself, when you're loving and kind to other people, your whole life will change. The yamas are loving kindness, honesty, not being greedy, not taking too much, and not being too attached to anything so that it's taking your peace away and moving you into a stressful place. And I asked them to commit to that. And that's your first yama, taught to us from 2,000 years ago by Patanjali. The niyamas are to help you connect to your peace. So our asanas are there because the body has taken on some stress and it's very difficult to connect to your peace if the body is hurting in some way or another. So the asanas were physical postures just basically to massage the body and get all this tension out of it so you can sit comfortably for a deep connection to your peace. So you can sit comfortably for meditation. The asanas were never meant to be an exercise on their own. They were supposed to be a massage for your body so that you can get it into a place where it can be comfortable sitting for meditation or pranayama. So the asanas are for that purpose. If you use them for that purpose, lovingly massaging your body in and out of postures to make it feel good, when you sit for pranayama, you'll be a little bit more focused and concentrated, not disturbed by the discomfort in the body. Pranayama, breath regulation, as we've learned from our other 2 speakers, are a beautiful way of clearing up the weeds in the pathway to our peace. So pranayama helps to get everything cleared up. And so the pathway, getting down all the weeds, all the overgrowth, so that we can get to connection with our peace. Meditation in the Raja Yoga tradition has 4 different levels of inner awareness, and each one brings you more and more closer to your peace. So withdrawing your attention from the world outside, pratyahara, just closing your eyes is going to make you less distracted because our eyes see things and our mind starts to think about everything we see. So if we close our eyes, withdraw our attention from the world outside, we'll have more calm. We focus inside. We take our awareness and we bring it inside our body. My teacher, Rajinder Singh, asks us to focus on the inner light, which gives us a focus inside which helps. This is light coming directly from source. It helps us to calm down even more. And then probably the most difficult thing is to sustain your focus. But we do that. Instead of, we can sustain it for a little while, then the mind makes us think of something, so we repeat a mantra, the name of God that we feel comfortable with, and we just keep repeating that, so the mind has something to do while we are focused on the inner light, which is bringing us to connect to the most powerful medicine we have here on earth, which is peace. It's coming directly from our source, directly from our creator, and it was given to us. In the Bible, it says, my peace I give you, my peace I leave with you. Why did we not get it? That's our medicine. That's our medicine to keep us healthy. So there's a lot of evidence out there of when you get connected in yoga traditions and yoga practices, it reduces anxiety and depression. It balances your stress syndrome, gets you out of stress. It supports the nervous system. So instead of being in a fight or flight, just to reiterate, when we are stressed and we're in fight or flight, the whole body shuts down. We can't digest our food properly. Our heart doesn't work properly. Our lungs aren't absorbing the oxygen. Our whole body in a stress state is going to shut down. And if we're in that stress state, not even knowingly, maybe unconsciously for long periods of time, we've got stress-related illnesses coming in, heart disease, cancer. It's real. It's because the systems have been shut down. Once we open the door to regulating that stress, becoming more calm, more peaceful, coming out of fight or flight and into rest and heal, which is what yoga does, those symptoms can gradually reverse themselves. And I've had experience of that happening with my students here. So the role of stress reduction, breath and meditation, the controlled breathing and the mindfulness calms the nerves. You've already experienced it with one of our speakers, but if you do it right now again, take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale. Just notice how that calms the nerves down, right? Parasympathetic activation. The parasympathetic nervous system, when we activate it, it makes everything work better. We digest our food better, our heart beats better, our hormones manufacture better, everything starts to work better. So yoga in itself doesn't heal the body, it just moves it into a place where the body can heal itself. It can take all the imbalance and make it balance. That's what yoga does. It makes the body's healing mechanism come back online. It lowers the stress hormone, cortisol, which creates this fight or flight thing in the body where the body's shutting down stuff and all the organs aren't working properly, and it brings it back online. The yoga will do that and take over, and the immune system gets strong, and inflammation can even come out of the body with yoga practices. So bottom line, if you look at the screen now, bottom line is your peace is your health. The closer we are to our peace, the more healthy we become. The further we go away from our peace, the more unhealthy we'll become in body. It'll first manifest in the prana, in the mental area, and then it'll come into your body in some kind of illness. We don't know where, but it could be anywhere as an illness, just because of the disconnect from the peace. So blood pressure is also something that can lower when we're with our peace. When I go for my blood pressure checking, I always take a deep breath in. And I know it's going to be coming out really well, because I'm usually really like a little bit stressed because, in the medical profession, it makes you a little scared with all these machines and everything. And I just start breathing deeply, and always my blood pressure always comes out nicely. It's also good for reducing chronic pain. If the condition is a physical one where you're just moving nicely with your breath, lovingly, it can come out that way. And it starts to heal places that have gone out of regulation. So that's also good. And diabetes and any metabolic disorder. Remember that stress place that we're in makes all this go out of whack. So the sugar's not doing a good thing, and any other metabolic disorder can, inflammation and all that can be the result of us just not connecting with our peace. Seems very, very, let's just say simple, but it really is. Peace is the most powerful medicine that we have here on earth. Okay, love and kindness is next, gratitude, another one, joy of life is another one. But these are the medicines of classical yoga. Deeply at their core, what they're trying to teach us is to be involved with these medicines and incorporating them into our life. The closer we get to our peace, the greater our health. The further we go away from our peace, the more we move into, and we all know this word, lack of ease, dis-ease. So that's probably why they call it that. We're away from our peace, we're in a state of dis-ease. If we get back to our peace, we're in a state of ease, we're healthy. So I am very grateful to have been introduced to yoga by my friend. In the beginning, I was very restless. She would just say, sit calmly and just breathe. And I said, no, that's kind of boring. Like, can't we do something being a dancer? But then I learned that it really was what was bringing me more and more health. I didn't have to keep moving, keep doing, keep accomplishing, I could just be at peace and become more and more healthy. So whole person wellness, yoga supports physical vitality, mental clarity, and emotional balance. If any of these go out of balance, okay, we'll have sickness, but they can't, not if we're connected with our peace. So that is the most powerful thing that I have to share with you today, is just stay close to your peace. Don't ever go too far away from it. I mean, things will happen in our lives where it's shaking up our peace. Then just go back to it. Just take a deep breath in and say, I connect with my peace. And I'm letting go of everything that is disturbing my peace right now. And you can just keep on doing that a couple of times. Just breathe in your peace and tranquility. And exhale out everything that is disturbing your peace. And then your body moves into perfect health and balance, body, mind, and spirit. So thank you for letting me share. I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
No, Deborah, we are very grateful. I want to thank you so much for this presentation. You very nicely was able to segue between yoga and the actual diseases which afflict us and which we've been talking about over the past few weeks. So I really appreciate that information. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
We have a few people still trying to join the program. And so I'm going to ask, please let me just have the other two speakers and then we can take some questions if that's okay. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Much appreciated. So, ladies and gentlemen, another fantastic presentation. And this brings us into our fourth speaker now, who is Dr. Andrew Vidich of the USA. He's an author, educator, and transformational speaker in the fields of meditation, mysticism, and leadership, and an affiliate of the Science of Spirituality Meditation Center in New York. Welcome, Dr. Vidich. Not hearing from
I think
him.
I was muted. Yes, I was saying good evening and good afternoon and good morning, depending upon where you are. It's a great joy to be here with each and every one of you all across the globe. What a blessing that technology has given us, this ability to connect with one another.
If you can turn on his video, please. Turn on your video, please.
Yes, okay, sorry.
We're not seeing you. Right, good.
Is that good? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry again. So again, it's my great pleasure to be here with all of you, and I've listened very attentively to the multiple perspectives that each of the speakers has brought forth. This this program. And I must say that I share so much in common with each and every one of you who have already spoken. In fact, as I was listening to the program, it became evident that I had to change what I was going to say in order not to become redundant and go over aspects of yoga and meditation that have already been covered so beautifully and so wonderfully. Very grateful for the opportunity to actually bring out not only the health benefits, but the true meaning of what yoga is all about. And I want to thank our preliminary speaker, the first speaker, who made a very profound point, which is pranayama and the asanas. These are all preparation for the true purpose of yoga, which is union with the divine, which is the meditative practice. Sadly, we have lost a lot of the original and most important part of what yoga is all about. Our sister from the UK mentioned that the root word for yoga is yug, which means to unite. It is to unite the Atman back with the Brahman. So the ultimate purpose of all yoga is really a meditative tradition to bring us back to our source and who we really are. So in this short presentation that I have, I thought I would go over and focus more on the meditative discipline and what we can expect from the meditative discipline, not only in regards to physical health, mental health, but our spiritual health. And the first point that I want to make, which I think is probably the most important point that I can offer here today, is that the health of the body and mind, both, are dependent upon the health of consciousness. Unfortunately, we have put it the other way around. It is consciousness which is the prime mover. Disease, as our sister said, can be caused by wrong thinking and wrong diet, as well as wrong environment. But the root cause, and this is the most important point, the root cause of all disease stems from our thinking and what we eat. So if we can create the right mental atmosphere, the right mental attitude, healing will come automatically. So we have to look to how do we make the consciousness healthy? This is the most important thing. And what are the elements of consciousness? So again, our speakers have mentioned that we are beings of love and light. And this is our essential nature. But what is the problem? The problem is we don't experience our essential nature. We have become physical beings and mental beings, emotional beings, but rarely do we touch the heart of who we are. I have had the amazing good fortune to study under three great spiritual masters, Sant Gopal Singh, who I was initiated by, Sant Darshan Singh VI, and the current living teacher of the Search Hub, or Science of Spirituality Meditation, Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj. So what I'd like to do is, in a general sense, but also give some specific examples, what are we trying to accomplish in this meditative journey? And the first thing I want to say is that meditation is not about adding anything to who we are. It is a subtraction process. It is essentially a journey from a state of constant continual stress, fear, anxiety, and to states of abiding joy, peace, and tranquility, which are our essential nature. So what is the meditation mantra? It is something that all the great sages, mystics, and spiritual masters, all of the speakers here today have reiterated. All joy, all peace, all glory, and truth lie within you. So the irony is that the ocean is in the drop. The macrocosm is in the microcosm. God is within us, and that is the source of everything that is essential to our well-being and health. So what is the process akin to? It is very much like we are all asleep, and the process of meditation is about waking us up from the grand delusion of mind and matter. And the meditation process is very much about waking up to our essential nature. Number 2, meditation is not a process of battling the mind, but transcending it and developing insight into the nature of who we are. And of course, this has been mentioned already by a couple of the previous speakers. So it is like shining a flashlight into the attic in which we have stored countless thoughts, words, and deeds and images, sometimes referred to as impressions or vasanas. It is taking a look at the essence of what we have accumulated over this period of this lifetime and many lifetimes in our astral and causal bodies and causal minds. Now, this is why it is said that nobody can know more about you than you. No doctor, no psychotherapist, no friend can know more about who you are than you are. And this is the amazing thing that meditation teaches us. Because only we know the very thoughts that are running through our head, or can know them. And by understanding the nature of the thought process, we can understand how to transcend the mind and become truly the being of light and love that we are all destined to be. So, continuing on with this analogy, it is a practice then of actually reconnection, a reconnection to the vast and unknown and unlimited field of consciousness behind the rational mind. So this is why someone, I think back in the 70s or 80s, came up with a very interesting bumper sticker, which read more or less, meditation, it's not what you think. So what did they mean by that? It meant that meditation is not about thinking. It's about quieting the mind, as one of our previous speakers has so beautifully articulated. But it's not just quieting the mind. That's just the precursor. And when we look at the actual first few words of Patanjali's system, it says, yoga is stilling the modifications of the mind. That's just the preliminary step. The second and most important step is connecting to the radiant divine light referred to by all the great spiritual masters from time immemorial. Taking a look at the Hindu scriptures, they have referred to it as the Jyoti and the Shruti. They've referred to it as the nod or the sound current. It's been called the holy word in the Christian tradition. It's been called shabd or nam in the Sikh tradition. The great Sufis and mystics have called it the Nur Allah, which means the light of God, or the Bangi Asmani, the great intoxication from the beyond. So this power is within each and every one of us. It is actually the power, the energy that actually sustains, maintains us in the body. And when that power leaves, they say this body is dead. So connecting to this fundamental root of consciousness, which is light and sound, and which all the mystics, from Christ to Kabir to Nanak to the contemporary mystics all the way back to Buddha, have all spoken about it. So what we're really looking at, as the analogy goes, is that clouds are like, thoughts are like clouds, which are obscuring the sun of divinity, which is who we are. And as we remove those clouds of thought, the sun of divinity, which is love, light, and life, shines directly into who we are. So it is simply a process of redirecting the attention from the outside to the inside, from the outside microcosm to the inside macrocosm. So this is all meditation really is. So each and every one of us has the God-given birthright to not only know who we are, but to experience this unlimited bliss that is our birthright. Everything that we need right now to be completely blissful, to be completely happy, we already have. All we have to do is turn the attention within ourselves under the guidance of a competent spiritual master and begin this journey. I would call it a journey out of wild mind, crazy mind, to slowly mind that is more in control, to finally a mind that is capable of conscious control, to ultimately a state of mind of complete stillness. So those are the steps, really. We do reach, and we can reach, a state of complete and total inner stillness. And when we reach that state, the bliss and the joy and the light that is pouring down upon us, this jyoti, this shruti, this nam, this word, this holy word, become the essence of who we are. So this, in a nutshell, is the journey, the meditative journey outlined not only by Patanjali, but Guru Nanak, Kabir, Buddha, Christ, and all the great spiritual masters who have come in the past, both known and unknown. So in order to kind of sum up this journey, I would say it is the path from limited, conditioned awareness to unlimited, ever-expanding conscious awareness. It is a journey beyond the limited ego to an unlimited, unconditional awareness of everything. It is moving out of the frog in the well mentality, out of the habituated and reactive self, to the all-knowing, all-present universal self. So I wanted to sum up very quickly, what does this all lead to? And I call it the ABCs of meditation. So A, light, which is who we are, has to be a light in order to see light. And then we get D for delight. So the path of meditation, we should not wait 1 day, 1 second to begin this journey of conscious self-knowledge and unlimited awareness of the true self. Ultimately, it is a path beyond selfishness, the self-centered ego, beyond the judging mind, to universal compassion, forgiveness. This is the destiny each and every one of us is destined to achieve. So I want to thank you all for the amazing presentations here today. It was so engaging, informative, and I will just leave you with the words of one of my great spiritual masters, Sant Rajendra Singh, who said, in essence, be conscious of who we are as beings of light. Be connected to the universal light and consciousness that you already are. And lastly, be caring and compassionate to all human beings, because we are ultimately one consciousness, one light, one humanity. So thank you again. I just want to thank Dr. Kumar Mahavir for putting together this amazing program. Wishing each and every one of you an amazing new year filled with the bliss and the love and light of God. Thank you so much for your patient listening.
No, it was our honor to have you, sir, and you've completely enlightened us and increased our understanding of the relationship between meditation and good health, at least showing us how we can accomplish that. So I want to thank you so much for doing so. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I'm going to ask you, thank you. I'm going to ask you as well to please stay with us, because I'm hoping we will have time for some questions. It is now 4:47 and we will be bringing on our next speaker. And hopefully we will have some time. We will be going over 5 p.m. today because we will like to take some questions. So thank you very much, Dr. Vidich.
Blessings to each and every one of you, and thank you.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, our fifth and final speaker is Nilesh Budu Singh from right here in Trinidad. He's a classical Hatha Yoga teacher trained at the Sadhguru Gurukulam, founded by Sadhguru, and certified to teach all classical Hatha Yoga practices by the Isha Foundation. Welcome, Nilesh, and thanks so much for your patience.
So let me just share my screen. Lovely to see all the presentations that happened previously, and I hope I won't overlap too much, but let's see how we could go, and I'll try to stay on time. So yes, so namaskaram, as we say in South India, and thank you for having me. So today I'll be speaking on yoga and meditation and their impact on health and wellness, not as techniques or therapies as were outlined before, but from a yogic understanding of the human system. So this perspective comes from the teachings of Sadhguru, a yogi and mystic, and from the classical Hatha Yoga tradition as transmitted through Sadhguru Gurukulam. So I'll keep this brief and structured so that we establish a clear framework and then open the space for questions afterwards. So Sadhguru said that the word health comes from the word whole. When the body, mind, emotion, and energies are in harmony with each other, that is when we experience health. From a yogic perspective, health is not merely the absence of illness, it is a state of inner coherence. This understanding becomes the foundation for how yoga approaches well-being. This gives us a framework to look at health more holistically. Instead of viewing the human system only through symptoms or isolated parts, yoga looks at the totality of how life functions within us. Once we have this framework, we can begin to understand why certain forms of imbalance manifest as chronic conditions over time. Today, we live in a time of unprecedented advancement in medical science. And I, as a clinician myself, I have benefited from this greatly. Yet, alongside this progress, we also see a steady rise in chronic illness, lifestyle-related disease, and mental health challenges. The WHO even said that we now have a mental health pandemic on its way. So that actually means what pandemic means. Everybody's familiar with this through COVID. You will actually spread your mental health condition to other people around you. And this is something that's not very well known. So we don't isolate mental and physical health in yoga. So this is not a criticism, as I say, of modern medicine. Rather, it highlights that while external interventions have advanced tremendously, inner alignment has not received the same attention. So yoga seeks to address this missing dimension. So in the yogic science, or the yogic sciences themselves, the human system is understood as functioning through multiple layers. These layers are not philosophical ideas. They're experiential dimensions that influence how health is expressed. By working with these layers appropriately, yoga aims to bring the system to balance rather than just managing symptoms. So the physical body is the most visible and tangible layer. Modern healthcare largely focuses here on structure, chemistry, and physiological processes. This is where the realm of science lives. Yoga does not disregard this dimension. Instead, it includes it while also recognizing that the physical body is the outermost expression of life. So beyond the physical body lies the energy body. In yoga, this is considered fundamental because energy determines how efficiently the body and the mind function. When energy is imbalanced, the physical body and its physical system begins to express strain and fatigue. Many yogic practices are designed primarily to stabilize and enhance this energetic dimension. And the previous speakers have gone extensively into this, so I won't be going over those. So the mind and intellect also play an important role in health. They influence perception, stress response, and emotional patterns. Yoga does not attempt to control the mind directly. Instead, by stabilizing the body and energy, mental clarity and balance arise naturally. So this indirect approach is one of the key distinctions of yogic science. So from a yogic perspective, health is fundamentally about alignment. When the body, energy, mind, and intellect function in harmony, well-being becomes a natural consequence. Rather than fighting illness, yoga focuses on creating the conditions in which health can sustain itself. So these dimensions are described in yoga as 5 koshas, or layers of the human systems. They are not separate compartments, but interconnected aspects of one living organism. Yoga works by addressing these layers in an integrated manner. while allowing balance to permeate the system as a whole. So they say yoga, you don't do yoga, you become yoga, as Dr. Vidic had mentioned extensively. So yoga itself is not a treatment system. It's a technology for inner alignment. When alignment happens at multiple levels of our being, health, clarity, and well-being follow naturally. So this is the contribution that yoga offers, not as a replacement for modern medicine, but as a complementary science of inner experience. And why we call it science is because it's repeatable and reproducible. In fact, it's been around for thousands of years. And I'm very glad to see that so many people from around the world have taken this up. So thank you for having me. I tried to keep this one short because I know everybody has things to do. So I'll leave some time for any questions or anything that that anybody wanted to ask. Of course, thank you so much, Dr. Mahabir and his panel for inviting us. And definitely for the speakers that came before me. It was very interesting to get different perspectives. And thank you. Namaskar.
Very, very interesting presentation, Naidesh. I want to thank you very much. I see a hand up already, and at this point in time, I want to welcome anyone who would like to ask a question. Please go ahead and raise your electronic hand. You will find that in the reactions button at the base of your Zoom screen. Please indicate whether you will have a question that you want to pose to one of our speakers, and kindly indicate which speaker you would like to have address those questions. Please unmute your mic. Kumu, can you go ahead and ask your question, please? You need to unmute your mic.
Yeah, so I was not able to unmute before. This is a question for everyone. It's two general questions. One is, can we get the slides of all the speakers if it is possible? And the second question is, how close do you think that today's yoga education and practices are to the actual Vedic times? Because thousands of years have passed and a lot of information and knowledge has been lost. So do you worry about actually getting the true benefits that were meant out of all of these?
Nanish, please go ahead and answer the second question.
So there's a system called Guru Shishya Parampara, where the system has been passed on from master to student and student to master. So the first person that ever taught us yoga was someone called Adi Yogi, first yogi. And then he imparted this to 7 people, and those 7 people started different lineages of that same primordial yoga seed. And that seed has never been changed. So when you say different types of yogic practices, there aren't any different types. There's only one type of yoga, that which allows you to become in union. The methods to which that was done, those methods were passed along this system. So the practices which allow you to be in yoga or meditation, you can't do meditation, you can just be meditative. Those things were passed on where each person valued it more than their lives. And I can tell you, because I went to do Hatha Yoga training during 2021, during the second wave of COVID. So I actually gave my parents my will before I went. So we are crazy people. This happens to be the lineages that happen throughout humanity, like Srila Prabhupada, who gave us the ISKCON movement. He almost died on the ship a few times before he came across. So it seems like this theme happens to people who try to do this thing. But we're promoting health today, so we won't discuss that. So when you're speaking about these forms that have lost, usually there's a lineage involved. So there's a guru, there's somebody who's enlightened, and then they pass on the method. And we as people who get this or these practices or these methods, we do not add anything to it. So this is one very, very important thing. We don't disturb the message that has been passed on, because it has been passed on from people who have much bigger pieces of the puzzle than we do. We can't have a trillion-piece puzzle, take 10 pieces and say, yeah, we understand everything, right? These guys have a unique perspective in that manner. So that's what we try to do. Namaskar. Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much, Nadesh. Suman Kapoor, go ahead with your question, please.
This is a request, actually, not the question, that this session, if it can be aligned with one of our Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's side, and then we have more people joining with us. Due credit to you people to organize. Each and every presenter, awesome, awesome. I have no words to appreciate, actually. And I couldn't grasp everything myself, so much in-depth knowledge. And thank you once again. I would like to align these speakers to our Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan website. Thank you.
Suman, so please just send us that in writing and we will forward to the speakers on your behalf.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to all the speakers.
Thank you very much. Ken Saline, go ahead, please.
Again, thank you for all the speakers. It's very informative. And my question is today, especially in the country I live in, the United States, there seems to be an overwhelming, kind of like backlash against, especially like people of color, Indian people, but all people of color. And this guy kind of goes against, what we have been looking into from the yogic point of view. We look for peace and we look for light. So I guess my question is, are we winning the fight? Because it just seems like very discouraging in the United States anyway, on the current state of things. Maybe there's some therapies in yoga that can help us get through this as well. So that's just maybe a question I just put out for anyone who would like to take a shot at the answer.
Thank you very much, Ken. Let me just clarify. Are you asking whether or not yoga and meditation can assist in some way in terms of racism or inequality?
Yes, because I think especially now with the current, you have been looking at the news, and with the current administration and the way the government is, people of color especially feel very much under distress. And it seems like the forces of darkness are kind of winning, so maybe there is some way to rally us, and I don't know, maybe there are some answers in yoga. So I guess it's a general question, but it's just, I guess, my feeling on the matter at the present moment.
Okay, so Nirmala, because you are Trini living in the UK, maybe you want to shed some light here.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, but also a very difficult one to take a stand on. And I'm just going to go from my practice again, because I can only speak from my own experience. And yes, there is inequalities wherever you go, not just in the US or in the UK, but all over the world. And people are being mistreated because of their class, their social status, the color of their skin, whatever. And it's not just happening now, it has been happening, in history, when you look at, wars and whatever. And for me, if I get my head into that, I can get a little bit, fearful because of how I look. But as I said, coming to the UK, I live in the north of England, in a little city called York. And when I moved here, it was a very, very white ethnic background. I mean, We have one of the largest universities and top rating for health economics. That's what I came to study. And hardly there were any, Indian people around. But now things have changed. I never felt that I was different because my training and my practice is that I came from an understanding that I am a spiritual being. We are all spiritual beings. And so how I project myself and how I was able to achieve in my career had nothing to do with the color of my skin, but it had everything to do with how I performed, the experience and expertise that I gained, but also a deep understanding that, this outer bit is not really who I am. So when you live from that inner experience of who you are, I think is it Nilesh, what you were saying about, that energy goes out into the atmosphere and you create a path for you. And I guess in all cultures, and prayer, different forms of prayer, meditation, it's all about creating that positive energy. And we all know the concept of karma. What I sow, so I reap. What goes around comes around. It's a natural law in the universe, completely natural law of cause and effect. So if I'm instilling in my thinking positive thoughts, of course that's going to come back. So knock on wood, I've never really had any discrepancies towards me because of my cultural background or my color of my skin. Because, as I said, I think, and this is yet to be proven, and how, I don't know, I think it's because it's a deep understanding and self-respect coming from where I am, who I am. And that's all I can share at this moment. I'd like to hear the feedback from the other speakers, please.
Certainly. Thank you very much. So let me ask Narendra. I hope you are still, I know that you are still with us. I hope that you are able to think at this time. I know you're very tired and it's very late in India. Narendra, can you please give us some insights here as to whether or not, having moved from Guyana and then moving to Canada, whether you've had to deal with racism and inequality, and perhaps you were able to use meditation and yoga to assist you with that. Narendra?
Is he here? I'm not seeing him.
Yes, he's here, but I'm wondering, it's so late there. I'll ask Deborah, please. You are non-Indian. This could possibly extend to you as well, because coming from South Africa, you would be familiar with some Indians there, but you have taken up something that is predominantly an Indian practice. So how has that affected you, and what can you advise for persons who are dealing with racism and so on?
I think it all goes down to staying with our peace. If there's anything in the world, anything other people are doing that is disturbing our peace, we pretty much just have to just let it go. Not get involved with it, not put too much energy on it. My teacher, Darshan Singh, he said, in this times that we are getting into now, we're moving into the blossoming, right? The full bloom of a golden age. And he said, in this time, the negative power is going to do everything in its power to prevent this from happening. And if we put our attention on it, we give it power. If we take our attention away from it, it loses its power. So when people are engaging in things that are taking peace away, which are not true. There's nothing, how can I say this? Everybody is a child of God. Everybody is loved by God equally the same. They're beautiful lights, they're beautiful beings, and anyone who is acting out of harmony with that is not acting in a way that is conducive to how we want our world to be. And we have a choice to make the world that how we want it to be. And I don't support that. I don't even think about that. And if anyone says to me, what's going on? I say, pretty childish. If you ask me, they need to grow up. They need to mature. We want us more spiritually evolved. When some politicians, I'll just share with you, were asking me for their vote here in America, I said, I can't vote for any of you because none of you are spiritually mature, and I'm looking for a spiritually mature candidate. When a spiritually mature candidate shows up, you will get my vote. And so I just share that I feel very passionate about this because being raised in South Africa, my dad was from Egypt, so he was dark skinned, and my mom was from Scotland, and I grew up with not seeing any difference. Yeah, I was raised by African nannies, and I didn't see any difference in people. I didn't know what people were all on about, and I just found as we mature spiritually, we become more spiritually mature. This is a subject that needs to be like, what did somebody say? Let me think about this. Remove the dust, remove our dust from this, remove the dust from the diamond. I think it was you, Nirmala. Move the dust from this and let us get over this and get into a world where we're all beautiful, one family of God. That's, I think, where we should be heading. And anything that's taking that away from us, we should not support it at all. We don't have to fight for this.
Deborah, we have follow-up questions based on what you've said. And can you please respond to whether or not you are letting go of the negative energies or the negative people? And
negative energy.
So how do you deal with the people who may be in your family or in your workplace who's creating these the negative energy around you?
Well, in the sutras, they say that when you have to deal with conflict, you ask yourself, if I'm going to speak up against conflict, you ask yourself, is it true? Yes, it's true. That's something we don't want in our world anymore. It's kind of childish. Is it kind? So I have to formulate my conflictual into dialogue in a kind manner. But you also have to ask yourself, is this necessary? And my friend Rama, who's trains my yoga teachers in Raja Yoga, he's from the Satchidananda tradition. He shared with me, if it's necessary, that means that what you're about to say is going to make things better. If what you're about to say is going to make things worse, it's not necessary. It's better to be quiet because silence will speak. Your silence will speak. You don't have to talk if it's going to just cause more of a conflict. So I would say, don't ever hate the person because, like I said, there's understanding. This person is let's just say immature spiritually, and so they deserve compassion. We pray that they grow up soon so we can have our beautiful world that we all want, that God intended it to be. And in the meantime, we stay away from things taking away from our peace. But if we have to speak up, if it's our job to speak up, we do it in a way that creates a different mind frame. Like, I don't see any different. We're all love and light. We're all children of one beautiful creator. I don't see any different. Maybe some people are doing something that's not correct, but let's talk to them about it. Let's get them on board with this peace train. It's like, the song goes, let's get on the peace train and make it there so we can have this beautiful blooming of the golden age. And God can be so happy because that's how he intended our world to be.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Narendra, you're unmuted
Yes.
now.
Hi. Yes, thank you. I was trying to so I take a different stand, and I mean I agree with everything that Deborah said, but for me, I have we cannot change. I cannot change someone else. I can only change myself. So we have decided
focus on the children. This is why our Karma Yoga, we're focusing on the children. There's no way that we can, when I hear of some of the things that are taking place, that we can change some people. It's impossible, it seems. So, but we can change the children because the children will move the world forward. And if we start from young and there's so much good energy out there in parts of the world that need the help. So we're focusing on that. There's a lot of hidden talent. We are discovering that you'd never know that they're there unless we reach out and go there. So that's how personally I'm getting the energy. Otherwise, if we get engrossed in the social media and everything that's going on, it can really drag you down. So we take the other stand of it and decide to take it in a more positive way and work with ourselves and with those who we can actually help. And that's as much as I can see right now, because then it gets too deeply into what's happening
Thank you.
around our world and around the world. It's not just the US, but it's everywhere. Everywhere we turn, there's a problem. So it's depressing.
Thank you very much for sharing. Dr. Vidich, can I please ask you to chime in here? You're muted. Please unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
So we've had excellent responses and guidance from all of our other speakers. May I ask you, it is now 17 minutes after 5 here. We've gone over our time, 17 minutes. Can you please take us through perhaps a brief meditative practice to assist with relieving some of the stress and depression that might occur or that some persons might be experiencing as a result of negative energy arising out of racism and inequality and perhaps emotional distress?
Sure. You mean like a 5-minute meditation?
Sure.
Okay. All right, this is very simple. The basics of meditation have been described very nicely over the past hour and a half here. And what I would do here is just ask us to get into a comfortable position and back is straight. We'll close our eyes very gently. The first step is just getting out of the fight and flight mode into a state of peace and calm. And the second step here, which is unique to this particular meditation practice, we're going to bring our attention to the inner or third eye, the Agya chakra or sixth chakra. This is the portal where the light of the divine, where the love and consciousness meet the physical world. So our eyes are closed. We're bringing our attention to this point. We're looking into the middle of the darkness lying in front of us. Behind that darkness lies the light and love of your own being. To get there, what we do is repeat mentally with the tongue of thought, very slowly, any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The goal here is to keep the mind absorbed, sort of buffer it so that you can focus in the middle. The door to the divine is within us. And as we look intently, but lovingly, into that center, if we hold our attention for just 2 or 3 minutes there, the light of our own being, which is the divine essence, which is the divine consciousness, starts to appear in the form of first-time flickers of light, shafts of light, or if we're very lucky, colors burst through like a rainbow. And from that, the healing of consciousness begins to remove all of the dirt, the grime, the pain, the suffering, not only of many lifetimes, but every single day. So let's close our eyes, relax into a comfortable position, look into the middle of the darkness lying in front of you, looking into that darkness intently, but lovingly. Allow the consciousness to go directly inside, repeating mentally, very slowly, any name of God that you feel comfortable with. And if we begin to see any light, just put your full attention into that light, like a drop dissolving in the ocean, like a light returning to the sun. Okay, so let's just sit for maybe 2 minutes, and then I'll bring you out. Just 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, thank you, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed the meditation. It's something you can do anywhere, anytime. Just close your eyes and go into the light. Thank you again for this amazing program and all of the wonderful speakers who elucidated so many tremendous points about yoga and meditation. Thank you all. Blessings to each and every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Um,
Ladies and
I have
gentlemen.
I have one thing before we leave. It's very simple, and it's the co-op Sadhguru's principles. It's that no matter what's happening outside, no matter what practice you do, no matter what happens, you have to be able to control what's inside of you, because you'll never have capability to control every single thing outside. But whatever's happening inside of you, you can control. So no matter if somebody's been racist or angry or anything like that itself, when that's reflected at you, you just control yourself. And that is the answer. So you could work on inside yourself and you change yourself before you want to change anything outside as well. So this is one of the core elements of Sadhguru's practices, that within yourself, you are the way you want to be. So thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you very much for adding that, Nilesh. Very, very important. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you as well to all our other speakers. This has been quite an enlightening program, and I really want to let you know how much I appreciate the time that you've spent on preparing your presentations and everything that you've said that's added so much value to us. Thank you very, very much. I'll turn you all
Thank
over
you
now
very much.
to Ashley.
Thank you, Shalina.
Thank
Okay.
We
Ashley?
close with the video.
Oh, do the closing.
Oh,
The
you want me
closing
to do
script.
that? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Ashley. The script, the end. Is Ashley Ashley, are you there?
Okay, so let me see if I can assist Ashley.
Yeah.
From everything that we've heard today, we have a better understanding of yoga and meditation. We understand that it harmonizes the body, the mind, and the breath to some extent, to a great extent. Regular yoga practices can help us to improve physical health, strength, flexibility, our cardiovascular system, and our metabolic balance, so that there's a reduction in stress, anxiety, and symptoms of depression. Through meditation, mental clarity is enhanced. It helps us with emotional resilience and self-awareness, contributing to better decision-making and overall well-being. Together, yoga and meditation promote preventive health care. It fosters inner balance, homeostasis, and enhances our quality of life across all ages, races, religions, and cultures. I want to say thank you all very much. And I just want to remind everyone that this public meeting is being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. Please feel free to contact the ICC to publish your books. We do ask for your suggestions at all times. And to those of you who are asking for the slides by our speakers, that is their proprietary property. We do not insist that speakers share. If they choose to do so, they may do so. They will let us know in advance. However, you can always view their presentations on our YouTube channel. So please contact Dr. Mahabir for further details. Next Sunday, our topic will be non-communicable diseases arising from alcoholism. So thank you very much to our planning team, which includes Dr. Mahabir and our IT consultants, Daryl Gransam and Navin Mangal. Daryl, thank you very much for designing the poster. Navin, thank you very much for always being here. To everyone, please visit, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to see all our past recordings and this one. I want to say thank you very much to Ashley for opening the program and for being here with us despite her dealing with some health issues at this point in time. So goodbye. May God bless all of you. Dhanyavad.
Thanks to all of you for joining and staying so long. It's more than 2 hours.